Hi everyone, it's Kelly. I thanks for joining in today. It's Memorial Day, and I would like to bring through a blessing from Archangel Michael. I'm a channel. I hear guidance. I may look off a little bit and not directly at you, just to get my focus. But for all the servicemen and women and throughout history, I believe this tradition began in the Civil War. As I say, I'd like to bring in Archangel Michael for a blessing for those souls who lost their lives and were gravely injured, those souls that didn't lose their lives and have served and are infirmed in some way. And ask Michael if he'll, give us some prophecies also to continue to uplift us about when the day war will end. So we'll see what he has to say, okay? Michael, you're hearing this. How can you guide us today? Do you have a prayer that you'd like to share with everyone? A blessing. He says, do I have space in your hearts for this? First, let's create space in our hearts, he's saying, because even though you may speak about souls that have transitioned in the physical, he said, those that are often left behind, you might say, still have closed their hearts. So as much as the blessing would be for those souls who served in some capacity, I would also hope that the blessing goes into the hearts of minds to anyone and everyone whose heart may have closed temporarily, a little bit, permanently, etc., and so on, as a result of these sacrifices. So he's saying, let's begin. Holy, holy, holy. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Shalom, shalom, shalom. He's saying something like klinkta, klinkta, klinkta. You may continue to center yourselves with your breath. It's always a wonderful tool. It helps actually free the heart in many cases from the cage that it may be in, from suffering loss. And that word suffering, I would like to transform also into projecting. He said, just please honor me. He's talking about the word that he wanted to correct there, suffering to projecting. Thank you. And the blessing would be what, please? I know you started. What would it be? He wants to say, as a reminder before I begin, he, she who lives on high have much greater glory than I. He, she, I are all parts of one another. I myself have essence of source creation, of course, within each and every one of you, as you have it also within yourselves. So while I'm called upon many times in service to do something like this, let us not forget, dear ones, that you have the capacity within yourselves to emit as much frequency or vibration as I will be sharing at this time through her to you. In fact, and sometimes it may even be more, depending upon the quantum physics and frequencies that are present at the time. So if I've set a safe foundation for us to begin, I would like to continue by saying, one day there will be a day where there'll be no war on your Earth planet. One day sooner than later, this will occur. One day sooner, this will occur when all the hearts and minds of those on your planet and those that are perhaps in transition now to what we might call the kingdom plane will have peace. So it's the frequency of peace, or the blessing of peace, that I would be asking to present today to those not only of the living, breathing, physical earth form, but to those again who are either in transition presently to the higher dimensional planes of universal love, or have made that transition. Some of them have, in fact, perhaps already journeyed onto other dimensions. So it's peace. And then we'll have a gratitude ceremony if I'm given time. So peace, think peace, friends. So the words would be something like this. You can certainly make your own. Insert your own. Set the intention. The words carry the power. You carry the power. Peace be to those, all those who have transitioned from the earth plane in the service of work, in the service of duty, in the manner in which the transitions occurred. If anyone is presently transitioning now, we would also ask that we send our hearts, the space that we've created with our open hearts, the blessing of peace through all the cellular components of their bodies. We ask that a blessing go out collectively to all those who may be mourning at this present moment or continue to mourn off and on. For any loved one, family member, friend, acquaintance that may have transitioned in this manner. We ask, O Holy Ones, the holiest of the whole, God mine, Creator, doer of all things, that you continue to bring peace to these individuals, to these families, and to our planet. If you'd like to say amen or some closing of your choosing, Michael's saying, please do so. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Is there something of a prophetic nature you'd like to say about peace on planet Earth? I'm sure many people are waiting, wondering, hoping, and doing. I should say doing. And is there a peace code, perhaps, that you'd like to share with everyone? And just a side note, these codes, or star codes is what Michael's calling them, are means that everyone can use to self-heal. And in this case, it's going to be for global healing, to impart a greater frequency of peace. And they're generally, the simple introductory kind of working with them, their energy statements, everything is. So before I bring through what the code for global peace is, you could say them several times a day. Some people are writing them on a piece of paper. Of course, there are many codes for all kinds of things. Some codes are on accessories now that we're creating, of all different types. But they will be a combination of numbers, colors, probably. I mean, this is my experience. And maybe some letters. So if you were to write them down, think them in your mind. You could write them in your field. You could write them on paper. Again, this is the star code, as we're calling them, for peace, which is what Michael's suggesting. So that, to amend what I said earlier, rather than waiting for something, we take action. So action is empowering, especially when we're talking about peace. And we're using frequencies that are prevalent for the time that we live in. So, Michael, what would the code for global peace be that everyone who might be listening could use to project, to do something so that, war dissipates, violence dissipates? So what is the global code for peace, please? Okay, I'm hearing he's saying 8, 8, 9, 5, 6, T, like Tom. The color teal, T-E-A-L, gold, like the color gold. Oh, sapphire, the word color sapphire. And there's multiple colors of sapphire, but for now he's just saying sapphire. Is that it? Yes, okay. He just telling me, he's saying, remind them not to overuse, because, you know, you would not, for example, with our guidance, if you're open to it, you know, continually say that code over and over like a mantra, you know, over and over and over again, unless you're, well, hardly ever. You can, because they're energy statements, if you've not worked with energy before, even if you don't see it, feel it, know it, you know, what that code was that the Archangel gave us. Some people are highly sensitive and they will feel everything. They themselves, you yourselves may feel more peaceful. So, you know, just moderate it, because the use of it, if you would, okay? Nothing that can harm us. We're talking now about energy and energy releasing. So again, many times our minds think that the more we do something, you know, bigger, better, the more we do it. Well, in this case, not necessarily. Again, if you're unclear about how to use this code, if you're moved to do so, you can write it in the comments or send me an email. But there's the glory about these codes. A part of the glory is that Michael says every man, woman, and child can use them for either self-healing or healing, in this instance that we're doing, to spread peace. And again, this is kind of an introductory code, but they get more complex after this, but introductory doesn't mean that it won't be doing the work. Is there more, Michael, about this code of peace or anything else today as we honor those that have you know, sacrificed their lives to help us live in a world of peace? Well, he said not at this time. So I guess I'll close with that. Thank you all for watching, and I appreciate continuing to like and subscribe and sharing. Many blessings to you. Thanks again. Bye-bye.